Well, hello there. How you been doing? Long time no see, okay? I've been missing y'all. You know what? Before I get started, I would like to say, is everything okay? Are you doing all right? Because if everything is okay, then I am so glad because it's hard for things to be okay these days because it's just crazy out here. But if everything is not okay, please remember, take it to Jesus in prayer and just be patient, and you will see that He is for you and not against you. Oh, yeah, it's true. Welcome to the channel here at D Space for Space U, where the name is apt to change, and that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to come on real quick and just give this cute little, very special, testimony that I had. Today, I was kind of like in a rut mentally, spiritually, emotionally, maybe even physically. When I get like that, I like to go to the park and walk and talk to the Lord. Verbally sometimes, through supplications and prayer sometimes. And then sometimes I just don't know what to say. Because there's just no words to really describe how I'm feeling at that time. And so I just depend on the Holy Ghost to just translate my groans into words unto the Lord and tell Him what's going on inside of me that I just can't find the words to say, or even the strength or the courage to even talk about them. So today was one of those days when I just did not know really what to say or even really how to feel, because, you know, I've been getting some news here lately that has just really been blowing my mind. And I've been injured in my left shoulder from a work related accident. And so I'm off duty indefinitely for now until I get the clear from the doctor that it's okay for me to come back to work full duty with no restrictions. I did go back and I was on restrictions. I couldn't carry anything or pick up anything heavier than 10 pounds or more, and no overhead lifting. And I went back for 2 weeks. But it looked like just because I had those kind of restrictions, it looked like they were trying to slam me. They were slamming me, and I kind of was feeling like, well, wait a minute though. I am back. I'm here to do the work, but can y'all kind of like lighten up the load just a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Anywho, um, cause I get it. Ain't nobody special around here. At this job, if you come back to work, then you should be able to do it like everybody else can do it. And I can dig it. I understand, but it just kind of seemed like, well, if you're complaining because people are calling off all the time, at least I'm here. Cut me just a little bit of slack. You know what I'm saying? Don't bomb rush me. Don't bombard me. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to do the work, but just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Where's your mercy at? And I just kind of felt like they didn't have any mercy. And it kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Hurt me a little bit. And then they decided to send me home. So I'm going to leave that part alone because right now it's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, I did go back to work, and for some reason, it just wasn't meant to be. And so I'm not mad at them. I actually thank the Lord because He has, He does things His own way, and His ways are not our ways, and I really believe that there's a reason why he let things play out the way they are playing out. So I ain't mad. I ain't mad. But back to what I was talking about, you know, I've been going through some things and hearing some news about some people that I love so dearly that really there's really nothing that I can do but just I can offer some help and pray that they do whatever God is asking them to do. You know what I'm saying? So I can only do so much, and it's like, and then those issues on top of me not being back at work and other things that's just going on in my mind. I needed to talk to the Lord today. Okay? And so when I go to the park and walk, especially when I'm by myself, mainly only when I'm by myself, when I go to the park and walk, I'm going because I need to walk with God for a minute, because I need to talk to him about some things that I'm having a hard time with, and I need to hear from the Lord. And sometimes I just need to be in his presence. Even if there's nothing for me to say, but I only feel, sometimes I just need to just be in his presence. And today was one of those days. And while I was there at the park today, here in Columbus, Ohio, at Franklin Park, I'm gonna say time out on that. And let me go here first, because you probably won't understand what I'm talking about. Years ago, I discovered that I can mimic some of the whistles that a lot of the different birds here in town can do. Okay, so I like to play with them. They'll whistle a tune, and then I'll whistle it back to them. And another one will whistle some different tune, and then I'll whistle that tune back to it. And it'll be just going on and on and on, right? But then you have some they'll have some old, complex tune. I don't know how to do it, but they still give me a chance to try and figure how to do it. It's just like a little thing. I like to just play with the birds. You know what I'm saying? They're like my little friends. I love those little birds. And so when I'm anywhere in town, I'll whistle to them, and they'll whistle back. Sometimes I'll whistle and they don't, because it seems like, then sometimes they need too much attention, and then they'll start pooping on my car if I stay too quiet for too long, because they like to play with me, and I like to play with them, but sometimes I ain't always in the mood. And then they show me that they ain't in the mood for me not being in the mood. Okay. This may sound crazy, but if you don't really be around me often enough to know me like that, then yeah, I'm sure it does sound crazy. But there are I have witnesses that I do have like a little friendship with birds. I'm not saying I'm the bird lady or anything like that. I'm just saying, it's, I don't know why that is, but I've discovered that, I have like this little friendship, this little playful fun thing that I do with birds, and they do that back to me. So all over town, they seem like I said, I do this in different places all over town. Like if I'm outside and I hear a bird, sometimes I'll whistle to them, sometimes I won't. But it just seems like they communicate with each other, amongst each other, and they spread that they spread the word, or the bird word. They spread the bird to other birds that I'm the one that I whistle to them. And so all over town, I can't say every bird knows, or I can't say they really know me, but not every bird is familiar with me, but a lot of birds here in town are. Even when I go out of town sometimes, and I whistle, I notice that I can have that same kind of community, not community, but that same kind of what word am I looking for, Lord? That same kind of communication. Thank you, Lord Jesus. So, to make a long story short, when I go to the park and I walk, especially at this park, because this is one of the parks where I mainly go when I do a lot of whistling to the birds. And I try to make sure that I'm doing it when nobody's looking, because I noticed that when I whistle to the birds and they start flying and trying to get close to me, and it kind of like, it kind of creates a little bit of a scene, and it makes other people uncomfortable, so I try to be low key and do, our little game that we play when there's not really people around where they listening, because not everybody likes birds. I see that now, and some people are really have a fear of birds, and when they see a bunch of them at one time, you know, and that movie, The Birds. If you ever seen that movie, that movie was kind of scary. So I get that, you know what I'm saying. And and there are times when they can be aggressive, and I mean aggressive. And like I said, if I take too long to communicate back with them and play with them, because they want me to play with them every day, then they'll start swooping down in front of my car when I'm on the freeway. They'll swoop down in front of my car when I'm on the street, and they'll do it like, you know what I'm saying, where they're almost getting ready to get hit. And I understand that what it is they just like, they want to play with me. But it can be dangerous. So, and then too, they, like I said, they can be aggressive. Sometimes they can be a little bit controlling, and when they start getting that kind of like controlling aggressive, I'll stop, because you know I don't know, they seem like they can possibly really be dangerous. So I just kind of like play with them at a minimum. I don't really give them too much, but like I said, I notice when I don't, then they will like, I'll come outside and then there's poop on my car, like, and I know, I understand it. I seem like I just have an understanding of why that is there because I know when I don't feel like playing with them, you know, I can tell that, they keep trying to communicate with me and I'm not communicating, and it makes them mad. Anywho, so today when I was walking around at the park, I got out the car and I started my hike or my journey or my walk through the park. And it's kind of like, it's not a really big park, but if you stay on the trail, it can be kind of like a little bit tedious. So yeah, it's kind of big if you look at it that way. So I started my journey on the trail, and so I got over there where the bridges are. I started from the back where the conservatory is. I started from the back, and then I walked or took I started heading right to go all the way around. And so when I got halfway around, there's two bridges that you cross over. You can choose to go over the bridge, or you can choose to take another route on the trail. So I always like to go over the bridge. So I see these birds, and it looked like it probably was like three to five of them. One flew in front of me, and then it was like that. That's like that. Those were, I'm doing that like individual birds. That's how they was flying past me. Like they were in front of me, going past me. They like to go before me and wait until I catch up. And then once I catch up, they go before me, you know. And I notice that even when I'm at work or if I'm in the car driving, they like to try and follow me where I'm going. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So on my way going up to the bridge, the three birds that went look like little bullets going past, right? And then they landed like right where they knew I was getting ready to walk past there, right? So I seen this other little bird. The bird came down from, I don't know where that bird came from, but it was coming from the left, and it came to the ledge, to like a little ledge, like, see, like, let's say I was like probably about five, no, I was probably about 6 feet away from being on the first part of the bridge. Like I was stepping up on the bridge. And the bird that came from this way, he came down and he landed on a ledge, right? And I was looking at the bird and I'm like, what is that in his mouth? He has something in his mouth. Now, normally when you see birds with something in their mouth, it's either their food, or it might be a branch or something where they're trying to build a nest or what have you. So I'm like, well, what is that? It was something white. like on his beak, and it was so big, and it was like covering his chest and everything. So I'm like looking at him like, what is that on him? What is that on him? Yeah, this is so funny and so precious. When he landed on the ledge, he went and threw one of them down, and went and threw the second one down. And when he threw them down, I looked and I'm like, oh, those are feathers. They were two white feathers, and they looked like they were like white feathers. I'm like thinking in my mind, where did he get them feathers from? But for some reason, somehow I knew that that was him communicating to me. And and it was like a gift from him. Somehow I knew that it was a gift from this little bird, right? So when I looked at it, I said, oh, that's so precious. That's so precious. And I'm thinking, Lord, I'm like, well, does he think I'm an angel or something? Like a heavenly angel? Does he view me as an angel? And I'm like, oh, that is so precious. That is so precious. And you know what? I feel bad because I didn't even pick up the feathers. I just looked and I'm like, oh, that is so special. Oh, that is so sweet. That's so sweet. And then I just kept on walking past the bridge and I walked past the feathers. So he probably was looking at me like, I was giving those to you. You didn't even pick up the gift. I gave you that gift. You just walked right past it. So I'm thinking like, well, Lord, that is so precious. That is so precious, because I know that the Lord's hand was in it. I know the Lord's hand was in that. So, I finished my journey through the park. I made it across both of the bridges. I made it all the way around to back to where my car was parked. So I get in the car and I'm driving off and I'm thinking about the bird, and it is just like, oh, such a blessing. And I'm just like so amazed, like, oh my goodness, I ain't never. So I drive away from the park, and I think I'm probably like I might have been probably about 5 to 7 minutes away from the park. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I see. I get it now. Oh, that bird. He didn't probably think I was an angel. I'm like, okay, this is not it. He doesn't think I'm an angel. He's giving me wings so that I can fly with the rest of. It was two so pretty white feathers. Because birds, they have two wings, okay? They have two wings. He spit out two feathers. I mean, when I say spit out, I mean that was his way of throwing it, because he was carrying them in his mouth, but they were so big. I said that they covered his chest, and or her chest, I don't know. And so I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It was bringing me two wings so that I can fly with them, because they see that, you know, I'm walking. So they like, it takes her a little minute. It takes her a little grip to get where we are. Like, she can't even come up here. So we kind of like gotta just kind of let her know that we're right here with her. And, we know that she's here. And we want to walk with her, or we want to fly with her, but she can't fly. So we're going to fly ahead of her because we know which way she's going to go. And once she catches up, then we'll fly a little bit further, just so we can kind of like, that's our little thing that we want to do, just like, I don't know how to say it. Lord, please help me say it. That's their way of showing me that they know where I'm going, and they're following me. They're leading me, but it's kind of like a following me type of sense. You know what I'm saying? So when he throw those wings, those not those wings, those feathers, I get it now. He was trying to give me some. He was trying to give me some wings so that I could fly with him. Now I feel so bad because it didn't dawn on me until after I had just all the way left the park. You know what I'm saying? I should have picked up those feathers, even if it was he thought I was an angel, or even if he just wanted to give me a gift, or she wanted to give me a gift. I should have picked up those feathers, but it didn't dawn on me. So, but you know what? That was really, really precious. That was really, really precious. And I just got to just come and just give this testimony. It was just so beautiful, so precious. I have never. That little bird brought me some wings, okay? In his mind, he was bringing me some wings. It's so precious because like I said, birds they have two wings, so I have to be careful with my left shoulder too. So they have two wings, and they fly because they have two wings. He brought me two feathers to help me fly. That was his way of bringing me some wings. So Lord, please forgive me, because I know that was your hand in it, speaking to that little bird, and just it was just something that you wanted to do. You wanted to surprise me. I don't know why, because I don't deserve it, but for some reason you wanted to bless me today. And I really, really appreciate that. That's why this song comes to mind. And it's just a little part of a song, because I just want to get my praise on, because I was reading Psalms uh last night when I got up, or at night morning this morning to use the bathroom. It was like almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, seeing Psalms where it's saying, sing praises to the Lord, sing a new song unto the Lord, dance, sing on, dance and sing and play instruments. So, and I'm like, okay, Lord, because I've been lazy at really singing and praising and doing all that. Because I like to, when I get there to that point, I really like to go there, and I haven't really been there. Uh, I haven't really gotten back into my praise and worship like I do. I find myself, I feel myself heading that way, but it's something that it shouldn't take for me to be in a mood to get into that kind of praise and worship. I should be able to do that just period, every day of my life, off and on, all day and all night long. But unfortunately, I guess you can say, when it comes to that, I can be a little bit lazy sometimes. I can be lazy sometimes. I don't even want to say a little bit, because I can just be lazy sometimes. So it brings me to this, just a little portion of this song by what is that lady's name? I forgot what that singer's name is. Deandra, no, Leandra, Leandria. I can't remember her name, but she says, "What is this that changed me?" No, hold on. She said, "What is this that that showed up and just changed me, made me believe in liberty?" No, I can't remember. How does that song go? What is this that changed me? Just showed up. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. I think I got it now. She says, "What is this that sprung me, that showed up and just changed me, made me believe in miracles and brand new possibilities? My heart was convicted, my past was evicted. You turned the page in my reality and revealed a higher destiny. It was more than I was looking for. Eyes have never seen it. Heard people talk about. I had to try it out. Ooh, Lord, I've been overtaken by you. I was overtaken today by the Lord. And I know I messed that song up. I sing something backwards in that. I think I did. But anyway, that song, I just had to just say that, because you know what? God is amazing, and he's the reason why I have changed. He's the reason why I am the way that I am today. It's all because of his grace and his mercy and his, oh, he is just so worthy to be praised. And I just needed to say that because today, when that bird did that, when that bird tried to give me that gift, or he came to give me wings. Ah, man. You know what? It was the highlight of my day. So when you're down and out, trust. God knows what's going on. And you know what? He knows how to come and put a smile on your face. Till next time, take care. I love you. Shalom. Yeah, I got wings today, y'all.